Did you know Americans put as much fossil fuels into our fridges as our cars? We're consuming about 400 gallons of oil a year per citizen on agriculture, which is a close second to vehicular use. Getting the crop from seed to harvest takes about a fifth of the total oil used on our food. The lion's share is consumed during the trip from the farm to your plate. Each food item in a typical U.S. meal has traveled about 1,500 miles. Energy calories consumed by production and shipping and packaging far outweigh the energy calories we receive from eating the actual food, which is a huge red flag that our current operation will obviously not be sustainable into the future. A quick way to improve food-related fuel economy would be to buy a quart of motor oil every day and simply drink it. But I do not advise this. Don't do it. But the sad fact is that this would actually result in enormous fuel savings. More palatable options are available, however, and things that will not kill you as well, like meat-free Mondays. A lot of people are declaring meat-free Mondays or intermittent fasting Tuesdays or Thursdays. And if every U.S. citizen would do nothing more than source a single meal per week from the local farmer's market, we could reduce our country's oil consumption by 1.1 million barrels of oil every week. That's barrels, not gallons. So small changes in eating habits could make an enormous difference overall. In school, our children learn the Bill of Rights and they learn the multiplication tables, but they don't know the story of bread from tilled ground to the table. Is that any less relevant to our lives than the 13 colonies? Couldn't we make the case of the relevance of this subject that informs our lives 3 times a day at breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Isn't ignorance of food sources causing problems as diverse as overdependence on petroleum to an epidemic of diet-related diseases? The drift away from our agricultural roots started with the Industrial Revolution, but by now, farmers are so rare that they're relegated to straw-chewing caricatures in children's books. Piloting your cart down the grocery store checkout corral, you're likelier to learn which TV stars are fornicating than the whereabouts of the people who grew your melons and cucumbers in your cart. We don't even think of the food industry as people. We think of it as a thing, a big invisible thing that processes and produces and markets and transports our food. How often do we stop to consider the actual humans putting seeds in the ground and harvesting and attending livestock births and standing in the fields at dawn casting their shadows over our sustenance? We're a nation with an eating disorder, and we know it. The multiple maladies caused by bad eating are taking a dire toll on our health, most notably for our kids, who are predicted to be this country's first generation to live a shorter life than their parents. That alone should give us pause. And so is a government policy that advises us to eat more fruits and vegetables, but then doles out subsidies not to fruit and veggie farmers, but to the big-time producers of commodity crops destined to become cheap burgers and oversized soda pops.